Hey guys, Mike here. Today we're setting up an aquarium without any water. It was only a matter of time. So we're going to be setting up the Camera Woman's Terrarium up here. This is an Oase biOrb 60. This is definitely a high-tech piece of equipment. I'll have some Amazon links that you can check out down in the description if you want to get your hands on one of these. So we just have it here on this kind of weird stand that we got at Ross. We wanted something tall enough to where this thing would be at eye level so we could see it instead of having to look down on it like a lot of the tank stands that there are available. You got to look down at your tank. Nobody likes doing that. So this stand should be pretty good for us. Let's take a look at what came in the kit. So here's some of the things. So here we have some DI water that is for putting in the misting reservoir, as well as you could use this to just manually mist the terrarium. We also have like a cleaning bulb, some other parts here, some plugs for switching over if you're in the US or the EU. And then down here we have a false bottom, and we have a nice little piece of cloth here to put over it, and we have that filter for the top. So before we set these pieces in place and take a look at this top unit here, let's go downstairs and let's make the substrate for this thing. That's going to be a very vital part. The kit also comes with a cocoa fiber core, like a dehydrated brick. The kit says that you could use that cocoa fiber as the only component of the substrate, but we're going to opt in and create our own custom media that my dude Tanner over at Serpent Design helped me piece together. If you haven't guessed it, this is the first time I or the camera woman have ever attempted to set up a terrarium like this, but we enlisted the help of some terrarium pros, so I think this is going to turn out to be a pretty good comprehensive video. But just in case it's not, I'll put a link for Tanner's video down in the description so you can check it out if you want to see a pro do it. Here are the things we're going to be using to create the terrarium substrate. First up, we have some sphagnum moss, we have some sand, we have orchid potting mix, and then we have some coconut core, which is basically a ground up fine version of the coconut fiber that we have in the brick. We're going to go ahead and use this brick, but I'm assuming that once we get this unpackaged and wet down, it's just going to be a little bit of a less fine version of this stuff. We're going to start here with the cocoa fiber. We're just going to let this brick dissolve and soak up this water. So this is what it looks like when it's all broken up and a little damp, and it does appear that this stuff is the same. So now we just have to mix up the rest of our ingredients here. This is a recipe that Serpent Design clued me in on. This is his general tropical plant mixture. It involves 1 part cocoa fiber, 2 parts sphagnum moss, 1 part sand, and then 1 part orchid bark. And optional is 1 part charcoal or activated carbon. Let's go see if we can find some. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the bag of carbon that I thought I had. I know I'm gonna find it like in a week or something. It's just hiding somewhere. But we have a few bags of activated carbon that we're just going to throw into the mix. We probably won't have enough to equal quite 1 part, but we'll be close. We're just going to make a big batch here in this 5-gallon bucket, guys. So we have roughly 1/4 of the bucket filled up with the cocoa fiber. So we'll use that reference as 1 part, and we'll fill up our other ingredients. Alright, so let's pull this thing down here. Before we put the substrate in, we need to put in our false bottom. So let's take the lid off. Come here a little bit closer and let's take a look at this thing. So in here is where the air filter will eventually go. That's this cartridge right here. I guess we could just put this thing in here. There's just some kind of sponge in there. And we have a little cover for it. Boom, there we go. Now this lid, it just tilts up and we can check out what's going on in here. So we have a power cord that plugs in the back here. I'll show you. And then that's going to go to the wall, and that's going to power the LED that's in here, and it's also going to power the mister. So in here, we'll do this once we fill up the terrarium with plants. We'll fill up this reservoir with the DI water that it came with, and then we should be all good to go. But let's go ahead and let's gently unscrew the lid here and take it off. Oh, be careful with that. You want to be really careful not to scratch this plastic because it's super easy to scratch, and I actually kind of already did that on accident when I was messing around with the lid. There's some light scratching there, so you need to be very careful when handling this thing. Are you ready to put dirt in this thing?
No, let me think about it.
Okay, so we're going to be very careful, and we're not going to lay out a tarp or anything. We're just going to... Sweet. Okay. Well, your turn.
What?
I'm going to let you do this,
How
because...
much?
I don't know. Let's start taking some handfuls.
You got like a thingy? You're going to do this barehanded?
Yeah, no, just use your bare hands.
Okay. There's not worms or anything in this, is there?
No. I think just be careful, like, to not drop soil on the outside of it. The sand might scratch it. I don't know.
Am I doing all of this?
No, not all 5 gallons of it.
Oh.
I think just a little bit. Yeah, smooth it out a little bit. And I don't know. We'll just kind of feel it out. We might want to put some more soil once we start to put a couple of the plants in, you know, just once it starts to take shape a little bit, we might want some more. So this stuff is a little damp. It's really fluffy though. It feels
really
like
soft.
It feels like it would be good soil, right? I mean, if my hand's not a good judge of soil, I don't know what it is.
Judge the soil.
I can't. That might be good.
Yeah, how much is on the sides?
Okay, I don't know.
I feel like it's not level.
That's okay. I mean, I don't think... In my mind, again, this is your terrarium, so I'm not gonna.
We map out the plants?
Yeah. Well, okay. Let's put it up. Let's put it up at the top here. We actually got the plants for the terrarium a few days ago, guys. So let's go back in time and let's see what we got. We have a ton of plants today, guys, that were sent to me by littleprinceplants.com. I haven't even taken a look at these yet, but just look at the packaging. I've never bought terrestrial plants online before, and I mean, I don't know if this is something that all places do, but I was just really impressed with how this was laid out. It looks like all of them got to me in good shape, but let's take a closer look. So the first one here is Dwarf Mondo grass. I'm familiar with what that is. Let's see what this is. This looks like it might be baby tears. I am correct. This looks like a plant that they shared on their Instagram. I think it was like golden club moss or spike moss. Gold spike moss. That's a really nice color. I think that's going to really pop with some of these darker green plants. This one looks really cool. This one's a silver ribbon fern. Spike moss? Okay. This is really cool. It almost looks like a brain. Pilia something? I'm familiar with the first part of that. I know pilia. I think there's a pilia over here, actually. Isn't that what that plant in the middle is? This guy is super cool, though. I love the vine look. I think that's going to look really good. We got to get this guy out. You have humongous hairy leaves. Can we get some clap emojis in the comments for how well these things are packaged? Like, I'm pretty sure you could chuck this box and all of these plants would be fine. What are you? Strawberry? Strawberry geranium? This guy is sweet. I can already tell you're going to be a problem though, because look at, you're already trying to grow all over the place. Another very cool fern. White tip spike moss, looking very, very nice. Looks like golden baby tears. I gotta say thank you once again to Little Prince Plants for sending these out to me for free. I really appreciate it. While I was at it though, I was able to pull some strings and get you guys a coupon code for 20% off if you want to order some plants. They ship to pretty much every state in the United States. So if you need some terrarium plants or other plants, I know they sell a ton of other things, go check out their website and use the code AQUAPROS20. Again, that gets you 20% off your first purchase. I also picked up some supplementary plants just in case we didn't have enough from Home Depot, and based on the amount that they sent, I think we're going to be just fine. We'll end up probably throwing some of these into the greenhouse. So there's the amount of substrate that we use. A couple inches. I mean, I think that's how it should go. Does that look good?
Yeah, we still got the plants in.
Yeah. All right. Let's take the lid back off. I already went through the plants. We did that a few days ago, but I did get you some other things. So I got you some rocks.
Okay.
Just in case you might want to use those. And then I don't know if you want to use some wood, but we got a few pieces of spider wood for you.
There's a couple in there. I see.
So it's up to you if you want to use those. And then I don't know, we could maybe like go find some big rocks if you want to put some big rocks in there. I figure we have so many plants, like this is probably too many for this this terrarium.
Well,
but
let's map them out. Let's see where they're gonna fit.
Okay.
So should we build it from the back or should we build it from the center?
Good question. I mean, if it was me, again, this is not my terrarium. I would probably build it up higher in the back,
Well,
just because.
It sounds like you do a lot of aquariums.
Here's some rocks right here. Those are lava rocks. You don't like those? Okay. There's some Surrey stone over here. This stuff. Do you like this? You like that stuff? There's some like cool pieces in there. There might be some glitter on some of those. Don't ask. Yes? No? Maybe?
It's gonna fit.
Perfect. Oh yeah, that's a sweet rock. Asparagus time?
Yeah, why is this plant called asparagus?
Nice. I think it's because it grows asparagus. Asparagus.
Asparagus.
Yeah,
We don't want
gotcha.
another cactuses situation on our hands.
Okay, all right. We misted it down pretty good. Now we need to fill up the reservoir, which is down here.
Okay, do I just pour
Yeah.
all this in it?
Yep. Okay, now there is a switch on the back. You want to find it? Yeah, it's pretty cool, huh?
Smoke it.
So it's got the LED on. Let's see if you can see the light. So you can see the LEDs that circle around the top there, and then that's so cool, the humidity thing. The terrarium has been set up for about a week, guys. I think the camera woman did a fantastic job of styling this thing. It's so nice to have a little piece of nature here in the living room where we unfortunately don't have any fish tanks. One thing that we did at the end of the setup that we didn't show on camera was the fact that we filled up about a half gallon of DI water into the base of this thing, just poured it in gently around the orb to help get some of the debris off the sides and to fill up that bottom reservoir a little bit. There's instructions in the manual for how to modify the fan speed, duration, the mister duration, things like that. I won't share all that with you in this video. I think it might be a little pointless, but just know that the light function is a 12-hour timer. You can't modify it, so you need to click this thing on at about where you want that 12-hour cycle to start. So far, we haven't relied solely on the mister to provide an increase in humidity. We have been opening this thing up every few days and doing a manual spraying. I don't think this is a system that you can completely leave alone. You do need to do a little bit of work to it, but I mean, it's pretty much zero maintenance other than that. There's so much more things you could add to a terrarium like this, guys. Just going through and watching some of Tanner's videos, you can add little springtails and bugs to help clean up fungus or anything that happens to grow in here. So we're really excited to have this and to be able to learn more about terrariums and hopefully add some cool new stuff to it in the future. Thanks once again to Oase for sending me this awesome biOrb Air 60. Again, if you want to check it out, there's links to Amazon down in the description if you want to get one of these for yourself. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. If you're new, hit the like button. If you liked the terrarium and you want to see more of this stuff, it helps the video and the channel out a ton when you do that. Thanks again, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.